Good morning. That was a beautiful song. I love that. That was so beautiful. Recently, I was visiting Mesa Verde, and there was a vantage point from Mesa Verde where you could look like 360 and see all around the Mesa Verde. And I didn't know this, but if you look 35 miles south, you could see this huge barren, what appears to be barren monument. It's known as Shiprock, and it's 35 miles away from, as the crow flies, from Mesa Verde. And while I was there, it reminded me of the mission trip that my daughter Nicole and I had worked on a few years ago, and I thought it'd be good to share this trip again. Some of you will remember it, and some of you may not have seen it. At the urging of Damien back here, who helps us try to go on a mission trip almost annually, I think. We had gone with him prior to Greensburg, Kansas, and it was so rewarding. And I had always wanted to do this other trip to the Navajo Nation, and Damien went, and we followed him and his wife. And Margot and Gail, who aren't here today, also were in that little group of people that traveled there. We arrived, and we came from all over Colorado and other parts of the country, and you stayed at the Navajo Nation chapter house. And obviously people camp out in trailers, some people in tents, but others of us stayed inside the chapter house, and they set up a woman's dorm and a man's dorm, and that was like going back to camp for adults, you know. But there were kids there too, and it was really an awesome fellowship time as well. What we found there, a team had gone out ahead of us, and they came down from Fred Harvey Church. What church was it they came from, Damien? Do you remember?
You're putting me on the spot.
Oh.
Harvey Park.
Harvey Park, thank you. Who else said that out there? Somebody knew it. Okay, from Harvey Park. And they had pre-selected where we were going. And there was just no question that these people could use a little help, a little grace in their life. And their poverty is just unbelievable there, and it's just widespread. And this was someone's living room kitchen. And the jobs are scarce there. The history of the area is one of uranium mining in this huge, vast reservation. And uranium mining is an industry of very toxic elements, very toxic environment. And you'll see clinics scattered throughout the Navajo Nation talking about looking at people's lungs and treating uranium-based illnesses. Many of the residents there live without basic necessities such as plumbing, and that is actually was a cesspool cover where their sewage went at this particular house that we were at. There's no code enforcement per se to address these problems that are created by poverty. People have open sewers, or they have no sewers, or or indoor plumbing in many cases, and they have to haul water to their homes. Lacking adequate resources, residents struggle to cope with physical ailments and illnesses. And these are two members of this family known as the Pettigrews. This young man, he's like 23 years old, and he was stricken with a muscle deterioration disease that confined him to a wheelchair. And he and a couple family members were living in this damaged Airstream trailer that's behind him. They had no running water or air conditioning, and it was pretty warm there. He did have a sister who did get him around, and that's, you know, you can see God there, definitely. As I mentioned, the Navajo Nation, it's separate from the United States. They don't have all the services that all of us have. They're building them from the ground up with the incomes and such that they have. And they grapple with addiction and alcoholism and violence. To us, this was, I mean, it was shocking. We were driving around and we went up in a subdivision. It was a housing development. It was located on the main route to an elementary school. About every third house in this development is occupied, while about 2/3 of the development is radically destroyed and defaced. in this manner. It's just, no explanation can be had about why it was still there, what was being done. We didn't know what was going on. So this volunteer group tackled a number of projects, and it was cool because there was, teams of people at every project that we went to. We worked to repair homes by cleaning, fixing doors, fixing interiors. Things were disheveled. This might have been the house I think my daughter was working at, and we all learned skills that we did not know we had. Nicole was working with a hot implement that removed linoleum from flooring, and I couldn't include all my slides, but it was amazing what these young people did in the homes we worked in. Did a lot of painting, those that did, and painting's a skill that I'm real good with and familiar with, so you'll catch me painting. These ladies, they worked together as a team. They came every year, I believe, and they just made great time with the skills that they had. And they replaced broken windows. As you can see, it gets cold in the winter there, and the people had stuffed socks and whatever, towels in the windows, wood, makeshift repairs. This is one of the ladies that I worked with. We measured windows for niceties such as curtains, and we took upon ourselves to sew curtains with donated materials and set up our little shop at the chapter house. There's a couple of the ladies there. And we even helped build an entirely new home, and I think this was where Damien was stationed. It was sort of like one of those prefab things that you see at lumber yards for sale that maybe could be a cabin or something. This was going to be someone's family home, and inside they were putting up insulation, and they were going to divide off rooms. They had electricity. It was going to be like a mini home that's supposed to be very popular these days. And God is here at the Navajo Nation, and you can see him. The Navajo people worked with this crew they fed us, they provided conversation and entertainment. I get very emotional about it, excuse me. The ladies came from jobs that they worked all night at, and they came at 5 in the morning to feed us. It was very moving. And they put together breakfast for this large group of people, and they made us sack lunches, and we had volunteers that went in and helped in the kitchen as well. But they also did a dinner for us every night. Let's see if I have a picture of that. And entertainment. Such wonderful hosts. What wonderful, wonderful people they were for us. And I think that's just a remarkable testament to God's energy and love in this community. And this is the group of all the people. We got little t-shirts if we wanted, and this is the big team of people that worked in every fashion. I think we did something like 9 homes, if you recall. Something like that we worked on. And I also, personally, I asked who helped who in this project. It really opened up a world to us that we haven't seen or we don't see in our mainstream society in our world. So I recommend to any of you, if you ever get that chance to go out and participate on one of these trips, it's life-changing, I would have to say. And on the way back, we came, some of you guys will remember this, we were at the Alamosa's Milagro coffee shop, which was kind of funny that we pulled into that. And in the wall, in the hall, it has, it's a little hard to see in this light, but it says, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy." And that is Proverbs 31, 8 through 9. That's my story today. Thank you.